Alright, so yesterday we discovered that through a ton of biochemical changes in the body in response to the daily stress that we experience nowadays, plus added to that all the media, information and other distractions that occupy our minds but sometimes entertains us, does cause us to gain weight and prevent us from losing it. If you haven't watched or read that episode yet, it's TBT Daily episode number 10, and I highly recommend you spend a few moments right now going back and finding that one and watching it, which will set the stage for exactly what I'm going to tell you today in part 2, and just one of the steps to help you overcome stress, anxiety and depression, and how to eat and train while you're on your healing journey. Now let me be totally transparent with you. Today's episode is just one of the steps, and there are literally tons, and I'll share those with you over the coming days and weeks. And starting out today with today's solution because it's just the one where I get the best results. So let's look into this first action step that you can take to transform your life if you're willing to commit with me on a daily basis. Now, most of us have sacrificed the ability to be mindful of ourselves and our surroundings, instead being drawn into the temptation of work, the past, play and distractions on a never-ending cycle. Taking the time to achieve a level of mindfulness can be greatly beneficial to anyone, regardless of their health, age or background. In practice, it's known as meditation, and it can give you both physically and mentally positive effects. Now, I know exactly what you're thinking right now. You heard the word meditation and you instantly thought of a bunch of hippies sat around in a daisy field holding hands and singing or hugging trees. Now, trust me, if I could give it a different name, I would, but perhaps you can help me by posting a different name for it in the comments below this video. Anyway, let's not let that name put us off. Let's open our minds to the possibilities that lie ahead for you now once you understand what it is and what it can do for you. You may also be skeptical of meditation as it may seem so vague or hard to understand. You may have tried it before and decided that it wasn't for you. You may have simply been looking at it through different eyes. For instance, how many times have you watched a film for a second, third or even fourth time and gotten something different out of that movie? Well, the same is true with meditation. Once you look at it differently, since now you're slightly older, or not looking at it as something namby-pamby or something that makes you a weak person, you might just get something very different from it. Think about it like this. When did you nowadays just sit? I mean really just sit and have nothing controlling you, without taking hold of you or taking hold of your phone during an ad break when you're watching TV and scrolling through Facebook, without posting on Twitter when you just witnessed something on EastEnders or Coronation Street, and actually just took a couple of minutes to scan your body and listen. And I mean really listen to what your body is trying to tell you in amongst all this chatter that's going on every second of every day. I mean, is it really too much to ask of yourself to just take a few minutes out where literally nothing happens? Like seriously, where do you get your best ideas? In the shower, right? Why? Because there's no phones, no distractions, no TV, no WhatsApp, no Facebook, just you and the water. So why not just ditch that notion that this is something for hippies and realize that this is just you taking a very tiny amount out of your day to do something that you would have naturally done when there weren't any of these constant distractions, probably hours per day. And that is being present. Presence, being here and now, seeing what's around you, enjoying what's around you. Not what happened to you 10 years ago or what's going to happen to you 10 years from now. What is going on right now? So, according to meditation science, there's been more than 1,500 separate studies by 250 independent research organisations since 1967, telling you the positive effects in patients from regular practice of meditation. These include both physical and mental effects, ranging from simple changes in everyday mood to the reduction in the severity of serious medical conditions. Among those effects include reduced stress, which also aids and complements other mental and physical effects, improved focus, short-term memory and long-term memory, concentration and problem-solving abilities, improved immune system function, reduction of chronic headaches, improved sleep patterns and the mitigation of sleep disorders, reduction and greater management of chronic pain, reduction in the acquisition and duration of common illnesses, reduced heart rate, reduced blood pressure, improved digestion and feelings of energy, reduced anxiety, irritability and depression, improved willpower and decision-making abilities. There's different ways to meditate, and since it's such a personal practice, there are probably more than any of us know about. There are a couple though that are actually focused on heavily in the scientific research though. These are focused attention or mindful meditation, which is where you focus on one specific thing. It could be your breathing, a sensation in your body, or a particular object outside of you. The point of this type of meditation is to focus strongly on one point and continually bring back yourself or your attention to that focal point when your attention begins to wander. And it's a great place to start. The other type of meditation that's often used in the research is open monitoring meditation. This is where you pay attention to all of the things around you. You simply notice everything around you with your eyes closed, but without reacting to it. This can be slightly harder to do because we're always taught to make sense of these things and to react to them and to organize things to make sense of them. So, what happens when you're actually meditating in your brain? Well, the frontal lobe, which is the most highly evolved part of your brain, responsible for reasoning, planning, emotions, self-conscious awareness. During meditation, the frontal cortex tends to go offline. Then you've got the parietal lobe, which is the part of the brain that processes sensory information about the surrounding world, orientating you in time and space. During meditation activity, the parietal lobe slows down. Then there's the thalamus, the gatekeeper for the senses. This organ focuses your attention by funneling some sensory data deeper into the brain, stopping other signals in their tracks. Meditation reduces the flow of incoming information to a trickle. And lastly, there's the reticular formation, the brain's century. This structure receives incoming stimulus and puts the brain on alert, ready to respond. Meditation dials back the arousal signal. That's all well and good, but what's the upshot of all of this? Well, you'll experience better focus because meditation is a practice in focusing our attention in being aware when it drifts. This actually improves our focus when we're not meditating as well. It's a lasting effect that comes from regular bouts of meditation. You'll get less anxiety. This point is pretty technical, but it's really interesting. The more we meditate, the less anxiety we have. And it turns out that this is because we're actually loosening the connections of particular neural pathways. This sounds bad, but it's not. What happens without meditation is that there's a section of our brains that's sometimes called the me center. It's technically the medial prefrontal cortex. This is the part of the processes information relating to ourselves and our experiences. Normally the neural pathways from the bodily sensation and fear center of the brain to the me center are really, really strong. When you experience a scary or upsetting situation, it triggers a strong reaction in your me center, making you feel scared and under attack. When we meditate, we weaken this neural connection. This means that we don't react as strongly to sensations that might have once lit up our me centers. As we weaken this connection, we simultaneously strengthen the connection between what's known as our assessment center, the part of the brain's known for reasoning, and our bodily sensation and fear centers. So, when we experience scary or upsetting sensations, we can more easily look at them rationally. Here's a good example. When you experience pain, rather than becoming anxious and assuming it means something is wrong with you, you can watch the pain rise and fall without becoming ensnared in a story about what that might mean. You can become more creative, more compassionate, gain a better memory, and actually increase the size of your grey matter. So now that you're sold on this, what do you do? Well, in the interest of keeping this video under the 3-hour mark, the answer is really simple. Set a time when you know absolutely that you can dedicate the time to this. A great time is first thing in the morning to set you up for the day. What you do to help you get started, well, I'll recommend my most favorite free app, and that is Insight Timer. There are literally hundreds of experts on there with all different types of meditations dedicated to your personal goal. Just to find one, you can either ask me for my recommendations or scroll through and have a look at what's highlighted. It's that simple, okay? So all you need to do is take a look and download that app. It's available for whatever phone you have, whether it's iPhone or Android. It's called Insight Timer, and there are lots and lots of experts with all separate different types of meditation. Now you might want to experience more mindful eating. There'll be a meditation for that. You might want to have a meditation that helps you to manifest more things into your life, and there's a meditation for that. As you get better, there's also Insight Timers where you can literally set a timer with a bell which will go off at different points to tell you when your meditation has come to an end. You can also interact with other meditators around the world. I have no affiliation to this app whatsoever, so feel free, download it, it's free. You can find me on there and we can connect as well. Now, if you'd like to know more about what I do, all you simply need to do is head over to tbt90.com. I've got all sorts of things going on over there. I've got my 100% free daily workouts and also my 28-day challenge, which goes on every single month, and we can hook up there. But failing that, you can head over to my blog and you can find tons more blogs and videos like this to help you to become a better person, the person that you want to be, and a happy person. Take care. I'm looking forward to seeing you in TBT episode number 12 and part 3 of how to overcome stress, anxiety, and depression. Please go ahead and share this video right now with someone that it might help. And take care. Have an awesome day.